Precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. Sri Lanka expects agreement with bondholders before IMF third tranche. The Iranian president inaugurates the Umma Oya multi-purpose development project. India lifts the export restrictions on onions to Sri Lanka. 10 kilos of free rice for 2.7 million families from Sunday. Special transport services deployed for post-New Year commuters returning to Colombo. The results of the 2023 GCE advanced level examinations will be out by early next month. International news. Israeli war cabinet meets to discuss response to Iranian attack. Sports. Sunrisers Hyderabad broke the record for the highest IPL total for the second time this season. Local news in detail. Senior advisor to the President on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff Sagala Ratnayaka says that the government, along with financial advisors, Lazard and legal advisor Clifford Chance, will resume talks with international sovereign bondholders in London once the ongoing World Bank Spring meeting in Washington, D.C. concludes and the team returns. He said that the initial discussion in this regard was held in March this year in London, and they have agreed on several key points. At this meeting, all parties concerned came to a non-disclosure agreement on the discussions until yesterday. Out of the 4 key points, there are 2 points that needs to be renegotiated, and we hope to get them sorted out after another meeting which will be held soon. He said that the first meeting was successful and it was also supported by the International Monetary Fund. The government is confident that it will be able to talk to ISB holders and come to a final settlement before the IMF holds their next meeting in June, where Sri Lanka's third tranche will be released. The Umma Oya multi-purpose development project is poised to be officially handed over to the public on the 24th of April by the Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi. The State Minister of Irrigation and Water Supply, Shashindra Rajapaksa, today said that the Iranian President is slated to visit Sri Lanka next week to declare open the massive project. The Umma Oya multi-purpose development project is poised for a grand inauguration jointly led by Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and President Ranil Wickremesinghe. This was mentioned yesterday, and in the year 2011, the ambitious Umma Oya multi-purpose project embarked on its journey, initially supported by a loan from the Export Development Bank of Iran. At its core, the project aimed to contribute 120 megawatts of electricity to the national power grid. Beyond power generation, the Umma Oya initiative addressed critical needs in agriculture and drinking water supplies. India has lifted the export restrictions on onions to Sri Lanka, with export of up to 10,000 metric tons of onions permitted. The Indian High Commission said the exemption for Sri Lanka reiterated India's neighbourhood-first policy, adding to the Sri Lanka and Sinhala and Tamil New Year festivities. State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapati says the government has taken steps to provide 10 kilos of rice per family from Sunday. This concession will be given for a period of 2 months, April and May, covering 2.74 million families in the island, including Samurdhi beneficiaries. This measure has been taken to help maintain the nutritional level of the identified low-income earners. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. We continue with more stories here at home. In a bid to accommodate the influx of commuters returning to Colombo after celebrating the Sinhala and Tamil New Year holidays, the Railways Department has announced the commencement of special train services effective at present. According to N.J. Indipolage, the Deputy General Manager of Sri Lanka Railways, 8 additional train journeys will be operational from key stations including Badulla, Galle and Beliata, facilitating the smooth return of travellers to Colombo Fort. Furthermore, the Department of Railways assures the public that regular office train services will resume as scheduled from tomorrow. Meanwhile, the National Transport Commission has announced the commencement of special bus services effective from today till tomorrow for people to return to Colombo after the Sinhala and Tamil New Year holidays. The Education Ministry says measures are being taken to release the results of the 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination at the beginning of May this year. The Ministry further said that steps are being taken to conduct the 2023 GCE Ordinary Level Examinations in mid-May this year. The Education Ministry revealed that the timetable for the said examination has already been prepared. That's local news for the moment.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala.
The Sri Lanka Air Force will conduct its first ever air show and defence exhibition CADE24 on a grand scale at the port city Colombo from the 29th of May to the 2nd of June. Local and international stakeholders of the defence industry and domestic and international pioneers of the airlines and associated industries will participate to provide the public with a novel experience, said Sri Lanka Air Force Commander Air Marshal Udeni Rajapaksha. The main objective of the event is showcasing air power and air diplomacy, promoting tourism and investments in the country, enhancing the image and reputation of the Sri Lanka Air Force, and providing opportunities for career seekers.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala.
And on Watchlight, according to the epidemiology unit, the tally of dengue cases recorded for 2024 has topped the 21,000 mark. As of April 13, the total of 21,028 cases have been reported in 2024, with the highest number being the Colombo district, which stood at 4,527. The Western province has recorded 7,547 cases, the highest province-wise, while the month of April has also logged 989 dengue cases. As several parts in Sri Lanka have experienced significant rainfall for the past few days, health officials urge people to keep their surroundings clean and destroy mosquito breeding places in order to keep dengue at bay. That came to you on Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
World News headlines: Israeli War Cabinet meets to discuss response to Iranian attack. FBI opens investigation into Baltimore bridge collapse. Coral around the world turns white and even dies due to ocean heat. World News in detail. Israel's War Cabinet has met to discuss its response to Iran's unprecedented drone and missile attack. Israel did not make public whether a decision has been reached. Its allies have strongly condemned Iran's actions but urged Benjamin Netanyahu's government to show restraint. While Iran has signaled it considers the matter closed, the Israeli military's chief of staff said the attack would not go unanswered. The FBI has opened a criminal investigation into the Baltimore bridge collapse, sources familiar with the matter told the CBS. The investigation will examine the circumstances leading to the incident in which 6 people were killed. The Francis Scott Key Bridge fell on March 26th after it was struck by a large container ship called the Dali. Federal agents have been present at the site since, the sources said. Finally, on World News, coral around the world is turning white and even dying as recent record ocean heat takes a devastating toll. It has triggered the 4th global mass coral bleaching event, according to the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Bleaching happens when coral gets stressed and turns white because the water it lives in is too hot. Coral sustains ocean life, fishing, and creates trillions of dollars of revenue annually. That's on World News. Moving on to development news. The Asian Development Bank has approved a $100 million loan to provide small and medium-sized enterprises in Sri Lanka more access to finance and to build their resilience to external shocks such as economic crisis and climate change. According to an ADB senior financial sector specialist Manohari Gunawardena, SMEs play a critical role in Sri Lanka's economy, contributing 52% to the country's gross domestic product and employs 45% of the population. ADB, through participating financial institutions, will open a $50 million line of credit for underserviced SMEs in the export, tourism, technology, agriculture and manufacturing sectors. That's on development news.
Moving on with sports news.
Sunrisers Hyderabad broke the record for the highest Indian Premier League total for the second time this season by posting 287 for 3 against Royal Challengers Bengaluru. Their score beat the 277 for 3 they made against Mumbai Indians last month. Travis Head hit 102 from 41 balls and Henrik Klassen a 31 ball 67, while England's Reece Topley returned figures of 1 for 68 from his 4 overs. Sunrisers' score is also the highest in a T20 franchise tournament. It is the second highest in any men's T20, only bettered by Nepal, who scored 314 for 3 against Mongolia last year. That's on sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The LOLC Microfinance Bank inaugurated its latest branch in the Blue area of Islamabad. The High Commissioner of Sri Lanka to Pakistan, Admiral Ravindra C. Vijaygunaratne, graced the opening ceremony as the chief guest recently. Addressing the gathering, the High Commissioner emphasized the significance of promoting financial inclusion and acknowledged the pivotal role played by the LOLC holdings in this endeavor.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And on economic news, Sri Lanka is in the final stages of negotiations with its creditors spearheaded by Japan to suspend debt repayments until 2028. The repayment period will be extended from 2028 to 2042 with a lowered interest rate of approximately 2%. Despite Sri Lanka's appeal for further debt reduction, Nikkei Asia reports that no additional cuts are anticipated. That's on economic news.
Weather report.
And on the weather update, the Natural Hazards Early Warning Centre has issued a warning of severe lightning in several provinces. According to the warning, thunder showers accompanied by severe lightning are likely to occur at several places in the western, central, Sabaragamuwa, Uva, and northwestern provinces and in the Anuradhapuram, Nargol and Matara districts. It also stated that there may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. The general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by lightning. Meanwhile, the Met Department advises that people should seek shelter, preferably indoors and never under trees, avoid open areas such as paddy fields, tea plantations and open water bodies during thunderstorms, avoid using wired telephones and connected electric appliances during thunderstorms, and refrain from using open vehicles such as bicycles, tractors and boats. Beware of fallen trees and power lines. For emergency assistance, contact the local disaster management authorities. That's on the weather update. Before we wind up the bulletin of news, back to the headlines. Sri Lanka expects agreement with bondholders before IMF third tranche. The Iranian president inaugurated the Umayyad multipurpose development project. India lifts the export restrictions on onions to Sri Lanka. 10 kilos of free rice for 2.7 million families from Sunday. Special transport services deployed for post-New Year commuters returning to Colombo. The results of the 2023 GCE advanced level examinations will be out by early next month. International news: Israeli war cabinet meets to discuss response to Iranian attack. In sports, Sunrisers Hyderabad broke the record for the highest IPL total for the second time this season. With that, we conclude the morning bulletin of news, and it's back to Sunday to give you some good entertainment.